Imagine a quiet town by the sea where a man named Jonah lived. Jonah wasn't just any man. He was a prophet, someone chosen by God to speak his messages. Now, Jonah believed in God, no doubt, but Jonah also had something many of us struggle with, a stubborn heart. One day, God gave Jonah a mission. Go to the great city of Nineveh, God said. Tell them to stop their evil ways. But Jonah didn't want to go. The people of Nineveh were known for their wickedness. They were enemies of Jonah's people. So instead of obeying, Jonah made a decision that would change everything. He ran the opposite direction. And that's where our story begins. Jonah hurried to a port city and found a ship heading far away, as far from Nineveh as he could get. He paid his fare, stepped on board, and felt relieved. Perfect, he probably thought. I'm out of here. God won't bother me. But you and I know you can't outrun God. As the ship sailed across the sea, a violent storm suddenly rose. Waves climbed like mountains. The wind howled. The sailors panicked. They threw cargo overboard. They prayed to their gods, but nothing worked. Meanwhile, Jonah was fast asleep below deck. The captain shook him awake. Get up and pray. Maybe your God will hear us. Soon the sailors realized the storm wasn't random. They confronted Jonah and he confessed. I'm running from the Lord. Jonah said, if you want the storm to stop, throw me into the sea. The sailors didn't want to. But the storm grew stronger and stronger until they finally lifted Jonah and tossed him over the side. Instantly, the sea became calm. Jonah sank beneath the waves, and just when it seemed all was lost, God sent something unexpected. A huge fish, not to punish Jonah, but to save him. Inside the belly of this giant fish, Jonah sat in darkness. He couldn't run anymore. He couldn't hide. All he could do was think and pray. For 3 days Jonah cried out to God, and God, full of mercy, heard him. Then, in one unforgettable moment, the fish spit Jonah out onto dry land. Jonah stood on the shore, soaked, exhausted, humbled, but alive. And once again, God said, go to Nineveh. This time Jonah listened. He entered the city and delivered God's message. And something incredible happened. People listened. They turned from their wickedness. They asked God for forgiveness. And God, full of compassion, forgave them. But Jonah wasn't pleased. He was angry that God would show mercy to people he thought didn't deserve it. So God taught Jonah a gentle lesson. If I can care for a simple plant, shouldn't I care even more for thousands of people who don't know the right way to live? In the end, Jonah learned that God's mercy is bigger than our pride, bigger than our opinions, and bigger than our judgments. Jonah ran away because he thought he knew better. He let stubbornness control him. And yet, God didn't give up on him. God guided him, corrected him, and showed him that his love reaches even the people we think are too far gone. So the lesson is simple. When we choose pride, we run from peace. But when we choose obedience, humility, and mercy, we walk in step with God's heart. Jonah's story reminds us that God's compassion is not limited. It stretches beyond borders, beyond mistakes, beyond what we think others deserve. And sometimes, the biggest miracle isn't a giant fish. It's a stubborn heart finally learning to show mercy, just like God does with us.